In today's video, I'll be showing you guys the top 5 best units to have in Anime Last Stand. In case you guys didn't see a while ago, I made this exact same video. But in the newest JoJo's Bizarre Adventure update, a lot of new really meta units came in, and then one godly unit actually got reworked. So we're going to have to remake this tier list so I can show you guys the brand new top 5 meta units to get in Anime Last Stand. Don't forget to use code ABSENCE in the informal shop when buying a macro. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. Alright guys, so before I get into this, I must explain. Obviously, there's other units that are better than these 3 right here. Obviously, there's going to be other godlies that are really good. But I'm going to go with the most obvious and reasonable way to do this. And it's going to be a realistic lineup. So I'm not going to just do all straight godlies. That wouldn't make any sense. But first up, with probably the best unit in the game right now, is going to be Johnny Joestar Infinite Spin. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, there is many reasons why he's the best unit in this game. First reason is not only is he 1, but he is 2 units on placement, and he attacks 2 different types of ways. So if you click on Johnny Joestar, he's doing 10 million damage, but he has this meter up here, which is his nails. And every so often, if I can find the passive, fire a nail every 10 seconds, you're going to regenerate 1 nail every 7 seconds. And what the nails do is reverse movement for 6 seconds and inflict hemorrhage off of 35% of current damage. Enemies receive plus 10% damage from Tusk and Johnny, plus 50% cap for 30 seconds. Drain 2% of the current damage, 200 billion cap for 8-second cooldown. So not only is he attacking, but he's shooting his nails, doing an insane amount of damage with hemorrhage and reversing them and draining their health over time, which is pretty crazy if I do say so myself. Once we max him out, he's doing 1.04 billion every 2.8 seconds. And obviously activate Herbal Tea, he gets more. And then Wormhole, in case you guys don't know what this is. But what you guys can do is you can use Wormhole, you can basically move him around the map wherever you want to. So right there, him and Tusk both get moved. And then Tusk is doing 3 times the amount of damage Johnny is on placement. Johnny is doing 10 mil on placement. Tusk is doing 38.5 million. Maxed out doing 1.79 billion damage. Together they're doing almost 3 billion damage. And then you activate Tusk's move, which is his Chimimi. Upon activation, inflict infinite spin on all enemies in range. Forcefully enter the Dark Determination mode for 60 seconds. Unstable Vortex now activates after 1 kill. After 1 attack without a kill. So activate this. Now he's in Dark Determination. And then let's just move him just because, why not? And every time you move him, he does 150% of his damage in range. So it's pretty nice. But yeah, there's a clear reason why Johnny and Tusk are the best units in this game right now. Alright, so the next unit we're going to be talking about is the brand new reworked version of Jin Mori. So let's put him down. On placement, he's doing 2.56 million, and then max him out, he's doing 281 million, but that's not even how he gets his main damage. So he has this move right here, Clone Synthesis. Upon activation, spawn a clone that starts at upgrade 0. So right there. Honestly, I see where they got this from. This is like AV's version of Jin Mori, which I like it, but at the same time, I don't know if I like they kind of took it from it. I wish they kind of kept Jin Mori the exact same way he had it before and just make it work a little bit differently, but it's whatever. So right here, he can have, I think it's a max of 4 clones. Yeah, because he needs 4 clones to reach Nirvana, which I'll explain that in a second. So once you have 4 clones of Jin Mori, you max them all out, which is really cheap, by the way. And once you max them out, you hit Clone Diffusion, which adds 1 Nirvana bar, and he gains damage per clone that he consumes. Diffusion. Now he has reached Nirvana, and then he has Reality. So upon activation, choose 1 of 3 options: Time, Destruction, and Life. If time is chosen, time stop enemies on map for 25 seconds. During this time stop, Wukong and his clones deal double damage, which is kind of crazy. So he'll be doing about 1.7 billion, and his clone will be doing about like 160 million, but you can have more than 1 clone down. And then if life is chosen, drain 50% of current HP from enemies on map, 40% enemy speed for 60 seconds, and inflict negation and despair. And then if destruction is chosen, deal 1 trillion damage to the map for the next 240 seconds. Every 60 seconds, he deals 200 billion damage and apply one of the following effects: sunburn, rupture, blizzard, and poison. So it's a 2,000 second cooldown, so I'm not going to pick it right now. But obviously you guys can see Jim Mori is pretty busted. He's doing 897 million every 5 seconds with 112 range, which is pretty massive. And then each clone is doing 84.5 million. So let's look at his passes real quick. So right here, once he gets into this mode, he is immune to every enemy debuff. For every nature element unit in loadout, gain 5% damage in range. So each clone has 20% of his damage and identical SPA in range. They have a random effect out of the following: so poison, hemorrhage, bolt, stun, and crippled. And then bolt, obviously you guys, I'm sure you guys know what all this stuff is. So, and then he has right here creation EX Nirvana. When an ability is used in this unit's range, create one of the following 3 things. Spawn a clone with 50% of the current damage plus identical SPA in range. Clones a random effect upon spawn for 30 seconds. Buffs Wukong and his current clones, gain 20% damage and 20% range for 30 seconds, and protection. Grants all units in range stun immunity for 1 stun for 30 seconds. Karma EX. Once an enemy enters Wukong's range for the first time, inflict fear. And that's basically how it ends. But then let's just say we go with, I think this would count as 1. And yeah, so he boosts all of his clones' damage. Oh, not even to mention that we didn't even use Johnny Joestar's final lesson. So that's buffing his damage as well. But you guys can clearly see why this is the second best unit in this game. He has 5 clones, all doing 84 million. Plus him himself is doing 922 million. And he used this. And let's just go with destruction. So he's pretty crazy as well. So the next unit we're going to be talking about is one of the brand new JoJo's Bizarre Adventure units from part 8 is going to be Wonder of You. So put down Wonder of You. He's actually a hill unit. And I'm going to place him all the way back here. You guys can see how crazy his range is. So we're going to place him down right here. Because yes, he will max all the way over there. So I'm placing him, he's doing 4 million every 6 seconds with 99 range. But his main thing is he's a really big range and he has pretty good support too. So he hits enemies with despair, causes enemies to take 50% more damage from all elements except dark element, slows enemies down by 20% of their current speed, makes them take 50% more dot damage, and take 50% more crit damage for 15 seconds with a 60-second cooldown. So let's max him out. And as you can see, he's something. So 914 million every 9 seconds with 330 range. So he's hitting enemies with, as you can see, they're not even spawning in, but he's hitting enemies with despair across the entire map, bigger than the entire map as a matter of fact. And that is just insane. He is probably, I think he has the biggest range in this game, not including Usopp, because obviously Usopp has infinite range. But, and then he has this ability, post-death resonance. So the clones that he spawns in have 50% of his damage and then 10% of the units that he spawned next to. So he spawned next to Giant Joestar, which is really good. So he's doing 539 million damage with 193 range every 9.66 seconds. So almost the same range as Johnny Joestar. And he still has this huge range. And he can have more than 1 clone down too. Another clone down right there. I think he just replaced the clone right there by Johnny. But I think he only have 3 clones done at once. Let me check. He can have a 5 clone cap, which is crazy. So he has 5 clones that can do about 500 million damage. And then he's doing 900 million damage. And he's doing despair, which is crazy. Alright, so the last unit we're talking about is Yuta Okotu from Jujutsu Kaisen. So put him down on placement. He's doing 3.91 million. And he has Rika. So let's just max out Rika first. So Rika maxed out is doing 122 million. And then she has this cursed essence, which we will get into that in a minute. Let's max out Yuta. So Yuta maxed out is doing 733 million. And he applies weakened. And then Rika applies fear and despair with the 122 million. And right here, Yuta's only passive is every 60 seconds, Cursed Child copies a random unit in his range's status effect for 30 seconds, cap of 3. Gain a random 25 to 45% damage boost and a random 25 to 35% range boost, increased based on the copy unit's current damage and range. So I'm sure you guys just saw, but his damage was at over a billion for a second. And Rika's passives are each attack Rika performs and grants 10 curse essence, cap of 500 curse essence. And inseparable bond. If Cursed Child gets stunned, Rika takes the stun instead and buffs Cursed Child's damage by 20% and range by 10% for 25 seconds. Every 5 times Cursed Child attacks, Rika performs a follow-up attack, dealing 25% of his damage and applies hemorrhage and pressure. And every 60 seconds, Rika randomly performs one of the 3 death speeches. Speech of Rewind, which obviously makes him walk back. And the next one, she stuns. And then Speech of Death, she inflicts Extinguish on, which is obviously does damage. But together, they're a really, really good unit. And that's it for the DPS. If you guys saw my last video on the top 5 best units, obviously this list is quite a bit different. But there's one unit that will be staying the same. And that is Oshi. No matter what video I make on a top 5 tier list, Oshi will forever and always be in that until a better money unit comes out. The pure fact that she gives a lot of money and she buffs. In case you guys don't know how Oshi works, is she gets more money the more units are in her range. She's doing 111k right now. Let's tell everybody. You know, she's doing 119k, so it does only cap out at 30%, but still it's a pretty big buff. And she has her concert, increases range by 50% and damage by 20%. Has a 40-second cooldown, so you can put that on auto. But as you can see now, without the herbal tea, Johnny's doing 1.31 billion. It just went down to 1.16 though. And then Tusk is doing over 2 billion. Use his move, 2.46. Yuta's doing 800 million. Rika's doing 146 million. Wonder View is doing over 1 billion. And then Morihjin, obviously I sold him, but he still doesn't have his full damage, but it is definitely more than what he was doing before. But yeah, guys, those are my top 5 units. As of another breakdown, it goes Johnny Joestar and Tusk Act 4, Jin Mori, Wonder View, Yuta Akotsu, and then last but not least, not a DPS unit, but a really good farm unit, we have Idol. Alright guys, that's gonna be it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys liked it, if you could like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. If you guys have any unit recommendations for me to get and or showcase in any other Town Defense game, definitely leave them down in the comment section down below. I'll try to do as much as I can. Also guys, don't forget to join my Discord, link in bio. But yeah guys, that's gonna be it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.